What's up, it's cinemashogun here, and every single time I make a video about Britney Spears, I have insane Britney Spears fans in my inbox sending me some crazy messages. Just yesterday, I received a message from someone threatening my life before going on a tirade about Project Rose, saying, "Just wait. Everything's going to be revealed when Project Rose is revealed. Project Rose will prove you and all of the haters wrong." So after reading that message this morning, I figured it was a good idea to sit down and record this video to reveal and expose what Project Rose actually is, or better yet, what Project Rose actually was. You see, in the early days after the conservatorship ended, Brittney would often talk about this Project Rose. I'm sure a lot of you all heard about it. She hyped her fans up into believing that this was some big, top secret project. A lot of her fans thought it was a new album. But as the weeks and months passed by, her fans kind of realized a new album isn't coming. So then they thought that Project Rose had something to do with her lawyer, taking down Lou Taylor and taking down Britney's father and taking down everyone who ever wronged Britney. They thought it was Project Rose because her lawyer's name is Rosengart. Well, turns out that wasn't true either, and everything that's going on with the court cases involving Britney, I can guarantee you that no one's going to jail. Britney is more likely to be put under another conservatorship than the likelihood of Lou Taylor or Britney's father or anyone else going to jail for her conservatorship. What happened is, basically, the powers that be, the powers behind the scenes when it comes to Britney, they wanted to get her family out of the equation so they can take advantage of her themselves. They don't want her family taking any of her money. They want to take her money. So all of this stuff that's going on in court, it's theater. It is theater. So they can suck Britney dry of all the money that she's worth. Nothing is ever going to happen. But that's a discussion for another day. So everyone began thinking that, it has to do with her lawyer. Her lawyer's going to take people down, blah, blah, blah. Here is what Project Rose actually is. After the conservatorship, it was almost as if Britney immediately fell off a mountain. There was an immediate decline. You could tell through her photos and the videos that she was posting. She went from looking like somewhat of a well-kept woman. She went from TV appearances. She went from having a relationship with her kids to almost looking like a homeless bag lady overnight. She literally started looking like a 6-year-old that got let loose in their mother's closet, putting together outfits that don't match, putting on clothes that don't fit, having your panties outside of your shorts. It was just... She just looked really awkward. And people noticed it, but they didn't want to say too much. But eventually, people started speaking up because I believe it was for like 3 weeks straight. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it was 17 days to be exact. People noticed that after the conservatorship ended, Britney all of a sudden started looking disheveled. She started looking bummy. Her outfits were weird, and people noticed that for 17 days straight, Britney Spears wore the same shirt. Basically, she wore the same top. And people started getting kind of worried. Because here we have a newly freed woman. Everyone's expecting that Britney's going to go out here and start living her best life and doing this and doing that. But all they got were these weird videos of Britney rocking back and forth in horrible outfits, And for 17 days straight, this woman did not change her clothes. So people started getting worried. They started asking Brittney what was going on. They started calling the situation out. And here is how Brittney responded. Yes, I know. I did wear the same top 17 times. But it's for a project. Project Rose. And you will be seeing way more of a Project Rose in the future. So immediately, that's all Brittney had to say for her Yes Queen and delusional fan base to think, oh, this is a big project. And it's not Brittney making excuses for her mental health. It's not Brittney making excuses for wearing the same clothes for 17 days straight without washing them or maybe even washing herself. So the origin, I kid you not, it's hilarious. I know, it's hilarious. It's almost unbelievable. But all of this Project Rose stuff that you've heard about, all of this Project Rose talk that her fans go on and on about, you can look online. There are so many conspiracies about what Project Rose is. What Project Rose actually is that Britney Spears got called out for wearing the same clothes and not changing for 3 weeks. So then she created this fake project to get the heat off of her. Basically, in a nutshell, Project Rose is a series of photos that Brittney had her assistant take when she got out of the conservatorship. Brittney had her assistant take, I don't know, a couple of dozen photos of Britney Spears holding a flower or with a flower in her hair. It's not really professional quality photos. It's not like she was at a cool, gorgeous location. She was literally in her backyard with a few flowers in her head. Sometimes she's smelling a rose or she's holding a rose with that weird smile as you watch her teeth, run away from each other and move farther apart. So in a nutshell, Project Rose was a dozen photos of Brittney that were taken in the backyard with her holding a rose. But in her delusional, weird, whacked out, maybe possibly, allegedly drugged out mind, she thought this was a big deal. Oh, this is Project Rose. These photos are so awesome because it's not videos of me twirling around in circles next to dog poop. These photos, they're not high quality photos. They're not studio quality. They're not professional. They're done on a cell phone, but at the very least, they look better and more classy than any of the other photos of Brittney we've seen post conservatorship. So she obsessed over these photos, created this Project Rose in her mind, and once she got called out for wearing the same clothes for 3 weeks, she started acting like, oh, it's for Project Rose. You're going to see more about Project Rose. And it was just, she would leave these little hints to lead along her fans, thinking that there's this big conspiracy going on. There's this big thing coming, when in reality, it was a few shitty photos of Brittney holding a rose in her backyard while wearing the same shirt that she was wearing for 3 weeks straight. That is Project Rose, people. I kid you not. No joke. That is Project Rose. I know some of you are probably sitting here with your mind blown right now because you've watched the Brittney situation. You've heard of Project Rose so many times. So when you actually figure out what it is, it's kind of mind-boggling to think that this much of an uproar was made about this nonsense. But it's a perfect example of everything that's going on with Brittney. All of the talk about her conservatorship, what she supposedly went through, it is all overblown and exaggerated. Just like Project Rose, everyone thinking it's going to be this world-ending event, when in reality, Brittney got caught not washing herself or her clothes for 3 weeks, got caught out, and then created a Project Rose. Oh, this is the reason I keep wearing the same shirt, and I keep doing It is absolutely ridiculous, but it goes even further. Because back then, this was during the early days. Before people were really allowed to question if she was crazy or not. When people were scared to say something. And it still happens now, but it's not as bad. But at first, If you said anything about Brittney, oh, you're a misogynist, sexist, bad person, blah, 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 blah. It was insane. But we weren't allowed. And when I say we weren't, I'm allowed to do whatever the hell I want. Obviously, I do it on my videos all the time. But most people were like bullied into not saying anything, even though it was obvious that this woman was off her rocker very early on. But she started saying things like this. Some say they smell the fragrance of roses while communicating with angels in prayer or meditation. Did you know? I didn't either. Angels use rose scents as signs of their spiritual presence because roses have energy fields that vibrate at high electrical frequencies, the highest of any flower on earth. PSSSSSS, in other words, buy some damn roses. So during this period of time, Britney Spears was claiming that she was in communication with angels through smelling roses. And at the time, everyone passed it off like, oh, this is so cute. This is so empowering. Britney finally gets to pick and smell flowers. Britney's living her best life. Women empowerment. Britney is so strong. What she went through is so bad. You know, everyone's spouting that fucking nonsense, right? Meanwhile, Britney's over here like, everyone get ready for Project Rose. Never mind the fact that I'm wearing the same outfit for 3 weeks straight. I'm communicating with freaking angels through the flowers. And it's like, this is obviously crazy, but no one wants to say anything. It's so cute. Look at little Britney. Everyone acts like she's a 5-year-old. The woman is 40-something years old, but it's look at little Britney. Oh, God, And I'm sitting here like, what this woman is telling you all. This woman is in an outfit that she's been wearing for 3 weeks straight, looking absolutely crazy, telling y'all that she's talking to angels through flowers. So at the time, no one wanted to acknowledge that that was kind of crazy. But now we can acknowledge that. Now, looking at everything that we've seen for the last couple of years, now when you look back on Little Project Rose, when Britney was claiming she was communicating with angels through flowers, now you kind of got to question, hey, maybe Britney's a little crazier than we thought. Because that should have been questioned from day one. You know what I mean? From day one, early after the conservatorship, you got this woman out here looking stank in the same outfit for 3 weeks, talking about communicating with angels through flowers, but everyone wanted to ignore it. Oh, it's powerful. Oh, God, this and that. Oh, man, women's rights, blah, 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 blah. And now, where is she? Now, look how bad her situation is. But very early on, she let you know she was crazy. I'm communicating with angels through the flowers, and don't say anything about my 17-year-old or my 17-day-old unwashed shirt because Project Rose is coming. Now we're here, years later. Project Rose turned out to be nothing but 8 or 9 photos taken in Britney's backyard. We're all going to ignore the fact that she said that she talks to angels through flowers, and some people are still pretending that her actions and her behavior is normal. So when people wonder why I feel the way I feel about this Britney Spears situation, or when people question why I say the things that I say about this situation, people need to understand it's because of what I know. I don't form opinions out of nowhere. I form opinions upon the research and the observations that I make. And when it comes to Britney Spears' situation, there are so many things that I have yet to discuss on this channel. All of this stuff is really tip of the iceberg stuff. But if you ever wondered what Project Rose is, now you know. And the worst part about it all is that as crazy as Britney is, she knows what she's doing. She uses things like this to manipulate her fan base. She purposely likes to drum up this big mystery. She purposely likes to get her fans riled up as if there's something big happening or there's something big coming. She wants these conspiracy theories to flow because that is what keeps her relevant. She wants to keep that mystery going because she knows that once that little mystique and mystery is gone, people are going to be done with her and her entire freaking weirdo situation. And people will move on to the next big celebrity mystery, conspiracy, or what have you. So if you pay close attention, you see that whenever Brittney starts losing the spotlight, whenever people stop discussing the weird stuff that's going on with Brittney, she likes to bring up things like Project Rose to get the conversation stirring again, even though we all know Project Rose was basically her taking pictures with the rose and then getting exposed for wearing the same shirt 17 times in a row. But with all of that being said, let me know your thoughts about this down in the comments below. If you're feeling generous, you can donate to the channel via Cash App. I kind of need it, folks, because this Brittney is driving me crazy. But with that being said, you can also help the channel for free by sharing the video, liking the video, subscribing, all of that good stuff. And with that being said, I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.